What's going on, guys? It's me, Shu. We are back with another Musume video. In this video, we are going to be going over the latest banner that was released last night. I thought it was going to be released like tonight, not last night when Nova mentioned it, but I haven't really been keeping up, or at least paying attention to when they release, because I don't normally know when they release, because we don't normally know the information like literally the day of. So at least normally, I don't know if we actually can see before, but I usually just wait until either I log into the game right when I'm about to record, or someone tells me on the comments that a new character was coming out. And in this case, it was Buena Vista that's getting released, and that is pretty much the only thing. No new support cards, also just pretty much Buena Vista. So I guess right after we go, just take a quick look over Buena Vista. The rest of the video, if you see why it's long, it's pretty much the rest is just all comments. So me going over the comments from the previous video. So with that being said, before we do jump in to the overview of Buena Vista, if you guys haven't joined the Discord server, link is down in the description down below. There's a channel called Circle Quest. For those who haven't joined a circle or are looking for a circle to join, y'all are free to join the circle that I'm in. It is called Shushu. Once you give that a search, hit request join. It'll let me know that you want to join the circle. And then after that, head over to the comment section or the circle request channel on our Discord server. Let me know they sent the request along with your in-game name, just so I can make sure to add you into the circle and not somebody else. But with that being said, we got a Buena Vista banner to go over, which now that I looked over her, I did like her when I initially just saw her start popping up in races and races as a rival. So in a way, I do want to pull, but what I didn't know was I didn't know she was a chaser. So this intrigues me even more because, as we all know, if you do know, apparently my best position is chasers. So I don't think I've actually pulled. Yeah, I didn't get to pull for the Randall win variation, or I guess in this case also most likely might have to pass Buena Vista. I might do those 10 tickets at least. I know it says 14, but I might just do a 10 ticket pull and see if I get it. It seems like we just have the 8 cards for support for dirt. Most of it is for dirt, at least. More here, I didn't even see that. Well, let's go take a look at Buena Vista. So at level 1 3-star, 98 speed, 79 stamina, 100 power, 81 guts, and 92 wise. At level 5 5-star, 120 speed, 97 stamina, 122 power, 99 guts, and 112 wise. I almost said 99. She is a turf runner, but she does have an F on dirt, so you'll have a little, just a tiny bit of an easier time of training her into dirt than if she had a G. For her distances, pretty much mile to long distance. If you really do want to use it for long distance, then just bring that C up to A. And then for her positions, well, judging just from her having Chaser's Corners as one of her skills, I would say her best position is most likely going to be Chasers, but you can use her as a betweener or a leader as well. And for her growth rate is 10% on speed, power, and wise all around for those 3 stats. And that is pretty much it on that. So Going over her skills, we have the unique skill to our Vista. If you're in the middle or later positions at the halfway point of the race, you will move ahead a little. In a mile or medium distance race, you'll move very far ahead. I guess speed up. In a mile or medium distance race, your speed will increase a little bit more. At least that's what I'm assuming, just based off this. Like I said, I don't know. I literally forgot who was the last character that had two. I don't know. I don't think Wonder Cute had it for hers, where it was like for both distances. I don't think so. Let me check. Yeah, I don't think so. But I know it's been like, I forgot who had it, where it was like two distances as well. No, Dantu Flame was only medium distance, but regardless, I do like uniques like this, where it does cater to both the distances that they can do at the very least. Like, yeah, there's a third one, but it's not like their best one, so it's perfectly fine. For the innate skills, we have Dignified, which is this one. For Chaser Medium, if you are in the middle of the pack at the third corner before the final corner, you will move slightly ahead for Chaser Medium. Second innate skill is Mighty Step, which is this one. If you're not in the front during the final corner in the leg, your acceleration will slightly increase for Chaser Medium. And then we have Chaser's Corners for the last innate skill. At a random point on a random corner, your speed will slightly increase for Chasers. And then for the Awakening skills, we have Gateway to Success for level 2 for Chasers. At a random point on a random uphill, your speed will slightly increase. At level 3, we have Brave and Courageous. If you are in the middle or lower group at the third corner before the final corner, you will move ahead for Chaser Medium. Level 4, we have Belligerent for Mile Medium. If you are not in the front at a random point on the third corner, you will get a slight speed boost. And then level 5, we have Rain for Chaser Medium. If you are not in the front during the final corner and the final leg, your acceleration will increase. For the conditions, from Brave and Courageous into the time has come for our promise to come true, something like that. In races between 1600 and 2500 meters, your Uma will take the lead at the third corner before the final corner. In races of core distances, your Uma will stay very far ahead for a while for Chasers. 1600 meters to 2500 meters. And that even counts for the Anima Kinen. It's 2500 meters. Right? Even though the Anima is considered long distance. At least that's what I'm assuming, that the Anima should count. Or it does, or is it gonna be it doesn't count because the game sees it as a long distance? Actually, no, for this skill shouldn't matter because it just says between 1600 to 2500. So this should still work for the Anima, which intrigues me. There's a lot of, oh, you could use this Uma at different distances and all that. I like that. I definitely do like that. For the conditions, have at least 800 power or 800 wise for the first condition. For the second condition, have at least 2 skills for the Chaser aptitude. And then for the second one is Rain. And it goes into Sincere Radiance. At the beginning of the final stretch of a mile race, or at the final corner of a middle or medium distance race, the Uma's acceleration increases and it moves slightly ahead. And that looks like it's for Chaser Turf. So essentially pretty much what Orfurve? Pretty similar to like Orfurve's skill, but it's just a different, it's just the awakening skill that makes it different. Yeah, because Orfurve and Dormente has this. But that is pretty much it. My impression is I feel like she's gonna be good. For mile medium distance, obviously. But also for the Anima, for the Anima, I would say, except her unique won't activate for the Anima, but her evolution skill will. So you can pick and choose, I guess. But at the very least, you'll still activate your unique. It just won't have the greater effect. So I would say that this would actually be one of the ones I would actually pull for. So, with that being the case, I was kind of just saying, maybe I just don't do the 10, but do the 10 just to see. Just to see. It's been a hot minute since I've done a random 10 pull for an Uma. Pretty sure Nova is like cringing right now or something. But it's definitely been a while. It's definitely been a while since I've done something, a 10 pull like this randomly. At least it feels like it. At least it feels like it. Now, did we even have a chance? Probably not. Probably not. The last two are gold, but the last one was guaranteed gold regardless. It would have been great to at least get a rainbow out of it, right? But I ain't gonna risk the carrot jewels or anything before I get heavily investigated and questioned by Tanoki about why I don't have any more carrot jewels when I just had 15k. But what I will do is these pulls as yeah, that's pretty much it for the main part of the video, guys. It's just Buena Vista. There ain't any new support cards. The CM, I believe, is coming up soon, but we still have time. I mean, let's see, the League of Heroes, I believe we still have time, right? Check the news again as I just click through here. Right? Isn't it like in, is it tonight? Tomorrow night? I forgot when. I thought we had a few more. Although I do want to try the 4 tickets for fun. Because I do feel like I do want Buena Vista. Now that I've gone over her for sure. Alright, here, League of Heroes. Yeah, team prep has already started. And it looks like it will start tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. So that means tomorrow I can still squeeze in a last training. So I guess tomorrow one more training for the League of Heroes before we, I guess, go into the CM. That's mile distance turf. Mile distance turf for December, right? Yeah, mile turf Hunshin. Clockwise winter. Good conditions, daytime. No debuffs. No debuffs. That's pretty much it. But yeah, that is gonna be pretty much it for the main part of the video, guys. So if you do want to stick around and listen to me go over the comments from the previous video, feel free to do so. If not, I totally get it. I mean, especially if you didn't post a comment yourself, I totally understand why you wouldn't stick around for the rest. But if you do stick around and you guys do want me to go over your comments in future videos, just leave a comment down below in the comment section. And as long as appropriate, I'll go over it. Normally, I'll go over it in every video, every next video. If I do miss it, well, I'll most likely go over it in the next video. So yeah, just feel free to leave a comment down below. As long as appropriate, I'll go over it, and I'll go over it in the next video. But if not, thank you guys for coming by to checking out the video for Buena Vista. And hopefully see you guys in the comment section in future videos. But with that being said, I'll be going over the video comments from the Orfur video yesterday. So starting off with the first comment, which is from Nova. So I made a Ricky to 2K speed on my second attempt. The JP videos don't lie about the results. Gonna have to spend more time training for the League of Heroes. Going all leaders mean I don't need to fret about changing parrots. That is true. That is true. Although I haven't seen any videos, I've just played the scenario this whole time. Noki said triple S on Umas is the norm now, yet I still can't be bothered. At best, I can do S in dirt and mile. I'm just a casual. Triple S. So you would have to pretty much do the type of race, turf or dirt, the distance, and your position, which it can be doable. You would literally have to have at least 2 of each, right? I say 2, but at least, yeah. That's 2S more thinking on the parent side. After coming off, especially for Nova, after coming off just how he was doing parent training in the last scenario. And the fact that if it is the norm now, but I don't know if I've really seen triple S's. If that is the norm, well, oh well, I won't be the norm for me. It won't be the norm for me. Tanoki says quadruple S the minimum requirement. I guess Nova was wrong. And then Nova says, sir, you are out of control. He can be. He can be, because he just comes out of nowhere and starts questioning about my carrot jewels. After pretty much, well, from what I remember, it literally went from us talking about, was it support, how we see support cards, how we categorize support cards, and then somehow it turned into my carrot jewel. So I don't know how that came up. I don't know how that came up. Definitely can't be me, because I don't know what future banners are coming out, so I can't. I don't plan on Uma. For the most part, I don't plan on Uma. But yeah, for the triple S, if it actually is a normal thing, it ain't gonna be normal on my end until I somehow do make it normal, but well, the complicated part of this scenario is the timing of using your Onsen ticket. You have to do more math to figure that out to get the most efficiency. I don't wanna do math. Math is just mental abuse to humans. What's unnecessary math that I don't want to do, that I don't need to do? You know? Buena Vista announces the new Uma, and I'm like, easy clap skip. For Noki, though, that's a must pull. Not sure about anyone else. Well, I'll be honest, I may have forgotten that this was Buena Vista. Or I didn't associate the name with this Uma when I saw her get released. Maybe. Because I do know this face. I've seen it. So, and I do like her design, in my opinion. She also has that nice nature vibe with her outfit and all that. So I do like nature. So that works. And then on top of that, she's also a chaser. So I did do 10 pulls with tickets. which you're probably yelling at me, Nova, but it is what it is. I've done it in the past, so I'm gonna just do it. But I don't think I'll touch the character rules, because what if Tanoki forgets, and next you know, he's like, what the heck did you use it on this time? But Shushu, try timing your dates and onsen tickets so that by the end of the classic year in December, you'll have 2 onsen tickets and you're on the 5th date of the friend card. Then on the first day of the senior year, you just use 1 onsen ticket, and then on the first turn of February, use your final date. After that, you'll be pretty much set to spam the onsen ticket every 3rd turn. Okay, so essentially, you want the dates to be done by essentially the beginning of the 3rd year then. I see. And then just make sure I have 2 onsen tickets by the time it hits December of the 2nd year. I'll try and keep that in mind when I do my manual runs. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it, appreciate it. The loudspeaker is the option you have on the far open right when you're in the training menu. It doesn't give you much stat, but gives you 1 onsen ticket. Oh, I think I called that the PR. The promotional option. The promo option. Yeah. I didn't call it the loudspeaker option. Or I didn't even look at it when the whole time I was training yesterday. So yeah, you could tell I don't look at that or pick at it at all. At least I don't feel like it should be a thing. I don't know. To me personally, I feel like it was a thing I shouldn't pick. But if you tell me that I should use it or pick it here and there, then I'll do it. Yeah, you're supposed to beat it with something like pre-buff Shark Girl or something. Itari just feels so much better to play, not gonna lie. Although, I haven't used Idhari since the video, I'll be honest. If I were just to compare off gameplay, if we're gonna be comparing, or like the feel of how they, yeah, the gameplay of either Miyabi or Idhari. Idhari's interesting. I don't hate it. I do like using Idhari, but maybe a little bit of bias, maybe. But I do prefer Miyabi's playstyle more. I don't know, as you can see, I was getting hit left and right with Idhari. And I was telling Hyuchin, don't get hit. Although I still managed to make it to 20k, so she was doing a stupid amount of damage. So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, once I clean that up and start using Idhari and not getting hit like I did in the Deadly Assault last week, then everything's gonna be all good. But everything's still good because I still managed to clear it. Other than that, I still like Miyabi's playstyle. Still like Miyabi's playstyle better. But it's interesting. I do like the HP reduction mechanic and all that. A little bit different for the game. So I like it. Seems like Zhao will be a free 5-star ice defender. Not sure how I feel about that. I'm probably gonna bench her. Oof. Defender. It's probably just a free-to-play option, if anything, for the Krampus team, I would assume. Or she can be a decent ice defender option, because we haven't been getting any shielder options or defender options. Obviously, since Caesar, we haven't gotten a 5-star defender, right? And now that we're getting a free one, so it seems like the shielder or defender position is not very popular. Because even for the 4-stars, the most used one I would assume is the Panda, because he obviously gives sheer damage to what I'm assuming only be using him for Yishun if you were. Like, at least that's what I assume. But I think also as predicted, Dialin is gonna be a rupture stun. So Lycon's time has been short if I do end up if I do end up getting Dialin. So at least it's good to know I have Lycon kind of built. I didn't do the skills and all that, so I guess it's fine. But I didn't invest materials and stuff in Lycon. So will I finish building Lycon at this point? I should, and I'll probably be able still to use it. For example, if I were to use like Ellen. Yeah. Rena's story was meh. I like Rena's design, but the story was not really that impressive. I actually think Rena is one of the stories I need to do. I guess the newer agent stories are more well written when compared to the older ones. You can see how Zenless writing improved over the last year or so. Yes, it definitely has. Even Wuwa. I mean, the story between 1.0 and 2.0 story was, in my opinion, night and day. Which one was better? But I feel like that should be the case. That should be the case if you're trying to improve upon the story and make it more interesting and all that. But what I also noticed when it came to the agent stories, a lot of it has been either implemented into the main story, like unless they make a separate one. At least I feel like this has been the case. Kind of like Yuzuha with her background in the patch she was released with, Alice. Also Alice getting her backstory. So essentially, and then you could even consider the fantasy resort story, event story, also kind of a agent story in a way, because agent stories normally is like they're something have to do with their past, or it is their past that we're going over, or a random like higher mission, something like that. But yeah, normally the agent story missions don't take place within the main story, but it usually does connect some stories outside of the main story, the side stories to the main story, like how I believe Trigger's agent story shows how we ended up meeting Trigger, because in the story is like, how did we even meet her? Why do we even know her? So yeah, they definitely did improve with the agent stories along the way. Moving on, but if it's like 9 dudes and 3 chicks, then I can save money for 3.0. I doubt they do nine dudes. They probably go 3 or 4 since they did 2 this time around. I feel like 2 would be the minimum they would do if they were gonna release throughout the year. I feel like 2 is the minimum. I feel like 3 or 4 would be the max. I doubt they'd go over that. Heck, I don't even feel like they go over 2, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that 3 or 4 is the max. Mono Fusion is still meta. Yes, it is, because Galbrena is... Well, if you use a Mono Fusion Galbrena team, then yeah. It is. It is meta. But I've been playing with Galbrena team for dailies now, since she is even more brain dead to use. I mean, if we're talking about Galbrena... At least for me, I'm using Galbrena, Yuno, and Shorekeeper. Essentially the blue team. They all got a lot of blue on them. Either black or white. Let's see. The dude just add extra buffer. I think it's about time we get another healer like Shorekeeper. We've been saying that since a long time ago. and we haven't necessarily gotten heal like a like an actual support healer, just a support healer. None of these hybrids, hybrid DPS support slash healers like who's can be a main DPS, can heal herself, at least heal herself the most, at least best, and then she also buffs. Insane. There's actually a fifth Hoyo game called Tears of Themis that nobody knows existed. I know. That's the reason why I didn't talk about it or mention it. I think it has just like a mainly dudes, I think? I don't know. I think the cover was just dudes, so reason why I didn't bother even looking at it. But Shushu, it's time to post your official UMA budget for the IRS to audit. You mean to Tanoki? Tanoki responded saying, Big Ball's gonna swoop in to defund all the waste, fraud and abuse. And Nova says, see. Tanoki Poppy, see. This is a weird batch of comments and replies. Tanoki says, sloppy toppy moment. That batch of comments and replies, or that comment and I guess in a dusty kind of weird, giving me a weird vibe. But if you're saying Wuwa and Zenless Luck can't be judged because I'm swiping, then that's not really true. If you do have as many or even more characters than I do, and can keep up with me as a pure free to play, then there is luck there for sure. I guess if you put it that way, yeah. Well, I mean, Wuwa, you have more characters than me. Although they are characters I essentially didn't. Well, besides Frolova, two guys I didn't pull for. Frolova I ended up skipping. But Frolova I did lose my 50-50, which is why I got Augusta guaranteed. So, I mean, I don't know. We can, because I guess you could say in Zenless I do have a few more, just like how in Uwa you have a few more than I do. I don't know, what would you say? I do have like maybe one or two more in Zenless. Maybe. It's maybe two. In Wuwa, you do have 3 over me. Well, I don't know. But if we're really, I mean, I guess technically that would make me the luckier what, since I am the free-to-play player. We were to put it that way, I guess. Semi-retiring from the glory days where you pull 6 banners in a row, maybe? Oh, he didn't clarify. Man, those were the dark days for me, watching one man with less than 30k rocks going ham after ham after ham. The dark days, those were fun. Now it's one man with less than 30k rocks not going for any banners. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Well, if you think about it, I was pulling every other banner or every banner when the scenarios were every 6 months. Now it's every 4 months. It's kind of just been like, I need to just not pull most of the time. But we'll see. Then Nova says, in that case, I don't think I changed much since my return from hiatus. Just vibing until an actual Uma drop that makes me feel things. I actually just sound like how you are. Because you'll look at an Uma and just be like, moving on. What works, it works. This is something I don't know in Zenless, but how can you tell if the enemies have a debuff? Well, if you can let me know, then that would be great. Well, if we're talking about a boss character, because that should probably be the only time it matters. Because that's the time you see the big bar on top. It should be right under the big bar. You should see some symbols appear. At least that's where I would assume it is. Pretty sure it's there. If you're asking if I look at that, I don't. But if anything, it should be like any game like this or any JRPG, whatever, that has debuffs and all that. You should be able to see it on the bar somewhere or somewhere around the bar, either under it, around it, somewhere. I guess you could say the same for like the grunt characters. You might see it like somewhere around their bar above their head if you really want to look that far, but by the time you look at the grunts, you're probably already defeated them. That's why I said the boss. Yeah, it should be around the bar section. I mean, that's how it usually is in, I would say, games like these, but essentially games like these. If I'm wrong, then that's because I just assuming I didn't look. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I think you can either look that or are you talking like pause the screen and be able to see like a whole drop down? You might be able to do that just by pausing the screen in the middle of the fight if you really want to do that. Yeah, I think you're able to pause and see like stats from, I don't know if you can see the boss or your other enemies, but I feel like you can see like yourself, like your buffs and all that when you pause. So give it a shot. You could either pause it, or if you just want to see that they have a debuff on, check while you're fighting it if it appears somewhere around the bar. That's what my assumption would be. And then third run of the scenario, we hit UA, boys. I'm learning faster than expected. It's actually insane how much I can adapt this fast. Well, maybe within the next day or so, maybe the weekend, I'll be like, hey, what are you doing that I can do, I can possibly implement, and see if I can improve upon my runs, or just let it down in the comment section and I won't. I guess message you on Discord if you do. Either or, just tell me. I guess if you prefer me just to message you, then I'll message you. Just let me know. And then lastly from Nova, well, two things happened that made me excited. One, GFL anniversary announcement, and I'm expecting Leva to come, but Lena is just gone. Oh yeah, it is this month, the anniversary. I mean, Lena could still be within the next banner or so. But that is sad. Second, drip marketing for the next Void Hunter has been released. The patch will probably be a crazy one. It's oddly enough the patch that's closest to WoW 3.0. Well, I mean, if you do remember, both games are not that far apart from release dates. It's just Zenless. At least I think, from what I remember, Zenless stayed around their story a little bit longer. No, I think both Zenless and WoW was pretty short in their 1.1s, especially. Yeah, I think they were fairly short. I think. Yeah, they pretty much have been not that far apart from each other when it comes to either their story releases or like anniversaries. Like we had Zani, right? Zani, who was even an anniversary character for? The thing about Zenless, it doesn't even feel like it was an anniversary character, in my opinion. But, eh. Yeah, Wu is just slightly ahead by Zenless by like a few months. What I remember, but yeah, 3.0 start with a bang. I mean, they did the same thing with 2.0 Yi Xuan. Start with a bang. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with that. It just means that I'll just be most likely using her a lot throughout the 3.0 patches. But other than that, thank you, Nova, for all the comments. Appreciate it as always. And I think the only person who replied to the comments from Nova was Eugen. I mean, not Eugen, Tanoki. So thank you, Tanoki, for replying to whatever comments, however amount comments, however the amount of comments you replied from Nova. But the last comments are gonna be from Tanoki. And the first one says, finally broke my island scenario record. UA2 Summer Tatomai would have been earlier and easier with medium long distance Uma, but we ain't about the eval rank padding. Curious to see how League of Heroes will be like now. I have no idea what you're talking about. I know it's related to the setup. I don't know why you're so against about the eval rank padding or anything. If it's from the setup I said, then I mean, are you just using Highlander? I'm assuming you are. Or is it Highlander for this one? I don't know. Whatever it was, whatever it is. But I don't even know what how your setup was to begin with. Then Newton says strong. I would say so also, since I haven't reached UA yet as well. Sanoki's, and the next one says Buena Vista finally 80 carats now. If it goes full pity, I'll be fully excommunicated from the Hoarders Club. I guess. I guess. I don't remember exactly. I think you were talking about targeting for future banners or something. Like I said, if we're talking about Pretty Derby, there's no way I am talking about future banners in Pretty Derby, because the perfect example would be today's video. I thought it was tomorrow. Even though, you know, I thought it was tomorrow. Or even previous ones, there's been a couple that I didn't even know that they were releasing that day, or right before I restarted recording. I didn't know they released the banners. So yeah, if you're saying me talking about future banners, the closest one would be Anime Aguri, with Rick mentioning it. If we were to have one, it would be towards the end of the second core of her anime. And other than that, the most I can say about me targeting for future banners, which not even targeting, just predicting, was who's gonna be the half Annie, who's gonna be the anniversary character type of deal. So yeah, you probably we're coming off from me talking about Eugen and his Zenless account, and when we were talking about how he should pull for not only things he need, but also not things he want, but also things he need to make sure that his accounts get better. But I don't talk about targeting future banners for Uma. That is nonsense, because one, we don't even figure out until like the day before or the day of, so you can't pin it on me like suddenly just talking about the carrot jewels when you were the one who brought it up. Because I was the one who was just responding to you. One from you were talking about how you saw Still in Love as a general speed card without, if you don't look at her gold skill card, but how I would still consider her as either a betweener chaser or a medium distance speed card instead, because her gold skills are exactly that. And then it says it was maybe 3 days ago. That's a load of crap, because 3 days ago was literally Sunday, and I know for a fact that was over the weekend. It happened before the weekend, so either Friday or Thursday, at least on my time. Because for me, 3 days ago is Sunday. It's Sunday. So if I were to go back, I would probably say around the first Kita video is when you decided to question my thing. So that would be how long ago? 5 days ago, pretty much. 5 days ago. Let's go from the top to bottom. Yeah, your comments to begin with was just us talking about speed, Still in Love, how you're not much of a gold skill Goomba, how you're like, ew, the general consensus is not my approach. And then out of nowhere, speaking of targeting, my memory is hazy on what you pulled. For the record, by skip, I mean free pulls, only free pulls plus carrots to one spark. And then you suddenly just went, if I recall, you are skipping this unsent scenario band. Then you proceeded to add more stuff, ask if you were high, and all that. So I didn't bring up smack about myself because you decided to start listing things down. So there's no way that I started talking about future banners of Pretty Derby, because I've never done that. I've never gone into a topic of saying about what I think is going to be the future Umas, let alone targeting which future Umas in a target, because I don't even know the list of characters they release or the new batch of characters. Hence why I didn't know this was Buena Vista to begin with. But I didn't know her face. I just didn't put the name together. So before you decided to say like, yeah, you did, I didn't. I don't target or plan nor future Uma characters. So this definitely has something to do with me mentioning future banners for Zenless, because Eugen and Nova responds to that, or is more related to those two. And because around that time, I kind of, the way one of the comments Eugen was talking about was like, or I was like belittling his cat, where he essentially pissed me off because I said that. Where he was like, first he says like something about saying like, I told him to pull for what he wants, but now telling him to pull for what he needs. And then I went off on a little tangent about all that. And I feel like that's the closest thing it came to. It has nothing to do with, one, my carrots, nor Uma. You brought that on your own. You definitely brought that on your own. So that's why I felt like you came out of nowhere, just questioning me out of nowhere. Like you wanted a warrant to take me in so you can, whatever, question my account and his thing. It ain't 3 days ago. Definitely not 3 days ago. I could tell you that for sure. But it was for sure almost a week ago. At least 5 days from that, based off that comment. Because that was where you said, that is where you literally started listing off all that stuff. And then it went on to the cap video, as I'm going through it now. Yeah, you just kept going on with it. And then the cap video was obviously posted on Friday. And then I did Kita again. Then, so yeah, it's been pretty much going on since the first Kita. dirt video when you decided to randomly come out of nowhere and talk about it. Because if I take a look at the video prior with the Inari 1 video before the Kita video, let's see the comment. Yeah, you were just talking about this is where it is, because we're still talking about Speed Still Love Speed Vivlos, the whole thing about their hints and all that. But nothing was mentioned here. You just brought it up. But let me see if let me see if there's any comment from Eugen, but no, not on that comment at least. It could be Nova because he did mention his friend and about the future banner in Wuwa. It could be about that, how that maybe triggered it. I don't know. I don't know. And then I did mention about the timing of the release, some of the releases of the characters between three different games with Nova in one of his comments. Yeah, I don't see any other comments that would have me talk about future banners, let alone future UMA banners and targeting which ones. So yeah, you brought that all on your own. I don't even know what you said. I don't even know how it happened. You just wanted to talk about it all of a sudden. And you can't say because you mentioned the banners are targeted from one of the videos when you're the one who brought it up. The heck are you talking about? You're the one who mentioned the banners I targeted. Hello? Am I the crazy one here? You literally even listed it out and then said, "Am I high?" I mean, maybe you are if you can't remember that you're the one that brought it up. All this up about my account, and its carrots and the list. Literally. Like the comment right here literally just says, "Oh, for the moment, if I recall, you are skipping this, that, and that." And then I don't recall significant support expenditure. And then am I high? For Umas, you went for, yeah, I didn't even reply to any of these. This was you just extending from yourself. So there's no way I even mentioned it. Or even wanted to talk about it, because you guys know my polls. I post them. I show them. I don't even pull one. I pull for banners, and normally that's something I record, so maybe you are high, Tenoki. Maybe you are high. That's what I'm gonna say. Maybe you are high, because one, you said maybe it's 3 days ago. You're a little off. But then, if we do take away the weekend, it doesn't really make it 3 days, because it's almost a week. It's technically 3 days to remove the weekend, because it does add up the days. But essentially, it was 5 days ago when you mentioned this. Ain't no way I mentioned it, because I don't talk about targeting feature banners with, especially if we're talking about UMA. Maybe for other games like Zenless and UMA, but definitely not UMA. And would definitely not just randomly talk about my hair jewels. So I don't know. I don't know. Like, you can't tell me that I somehow brought it up when even Nova's the one to join in and be like, not sure. He says not sure, but I'm not getting what Noki's hungover about. So if even he's confused, even if he's confused, then and I'm confused, how does this? I definitely didn't start this topic. You started this topic, and the trigger was definitely not Uma related. So that's kind of weird to me. It's kind of weird for me to suddenly get questioned when I know for a fact if it's related to targeting future banners, it definitely wasn't Uma related. It definitely was not something Uma related. So I'm gonna give you the same thing I tell Eugen for the first time. If you want to avoid confusion or a misunderstanding or so, maybe try to at least, if you're gonna say something and all that, make sure it doesn't, get to this point. Because I honestly feel like I didn't need to get questioned, because I literally show all my polls and all that besides the free polls. With a big sigh of relief, guys. You're probably wondering the weird cutoff here. So essentially the weird cutoff here is because, as I think I'll probably show it before the transition to this part. I did get cut off because I think as you could probably tell, as I went and straightened myself out or got reorganized on the chair, I hit the mic. You could probably see it. I hit the mic, and that's when the mute button on my mic got tapped, because it got hit by my windscreen essentially. But thankfully it wasn't the whole comment section. Would have been terrible. That would have been terrible. But thankfully it was just the very end of the comments. So essentially it was just towards the end of that last part when I was talking about how I show my polls. I usually show my polls because I record them. And then I believe I didn't go over the last comment, because that part got muted. So the last comment from Tanoki was, just be careful about that mid UB Uguri cap. It's a 1300 stamina at 780 and on a mile track. It's probably not going to run like AUB. Well, like I said, or I said that in the ending, but I recorded that before this. But I guess, like I said in the ending, because you're gonna see it again if you do see it, if there's anything you can tell me that I can improve on, setup, what I can try with the setup instead of what I've been doing with 2 guts, I guess. Maybe you're probably just gonna tell me to just use the Highlander set, maybe, and make it work. If it is, then sure, I'll just make it work. Or if there's anything else I can do to improve upon it, or maybe just do what Nova says and time my Onsen tickets correctly. But yeah, like I said, or I will say later, not so long in the future of this video, if there's anything I can improve on and you can on my run, or if there's anything that you do in your run that I can implement into my run to possibly improve my running attempts, then let me know. I'd rather have that than me getting questioned about my carrot jewels for like 4 or 5 videos straight. I'd rather have that. But yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna switch you guys back to the I guess past me, future me, past future me, whatever it is. So, oh no, guys, we have a problem here. So I just realized right now, I don't know how long into the comments or even into the video, that my mute button has been pressed. And I don't even know when my mute button was pressed. So what I'm gonna go do right now is, because I literally just finished the comments. I was finishing the comments, and then I looked and I don't know, I realized that it wasn't picking up. So if there is a weird cutoff in the comments, that means, well, even if there, I don't even know if this was cut off prior to me recording the banner overview part. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna end the video, end the recording and all that. After I end the video, if I'm probably gonna put this part before the comment section if it did get messed up. If not, if it didn't cut off a good chunk of it, I'll go back and reply to the comments that I missed, because I know as of right now it's already pretty close to the upload time, so I might as well just make sure I get this video to either at least I have all the comments, or I have some comments and I'll go over the rest and have some explanation to it. So yeah, depending on how, it doesn't matter. But for the comments that were posted in this video, thank you, Nova, Tanoki. I think just Nova and Tanoki for the comments. I appreciate it as always. Unfortunately, as of right now, as me talking about this, I don't know if most of the comments, or if even most of the video, was recorded silently, and it was just me, just a silent video of me just like talking and all that. But no, I'm not, my voice is not coming through because it's muted. I don't know how long that was before, so I need to go take a look at that. But hopefully things are well and I fixed it. I know time is gonna be late on the upload, but I'd rather do that than have a video that's, you know, weird. I don't know, I feel bad, especially if it happened during like most of the comments. So I'd rather just record the response to the comments separately, possibly add it to this video, or just add the response to the next video, obviously. But I don't know, we'll see what I said like to do. But if you guys didn't make it this far in the video, I do want to say thank you. Like I said, I don't know how long the video is. If I did add everything, it should be at about an hour, or around an hour mark. If I didn't, it should be way less. That's pretty much it. But if you guys didn't make it this far in the video, I do want to say thank you. If you guys can, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. Let me know if you guys vote for Buena Vista, and let me know if there's anything different you guys do in your scenario runs that I do, because if there's something I can take from you guys and improve and make my runs better, I would greatly appreciate that. And also, if you guys haven't joined the Discord server, link is down in the description. There's a channel called Circle Quest for those who haven't joined a circle or are looking for a circle to join. Y'all are free to join the circle that I'm in. It is called Shushu. Once you give that a search, hit request to join. It'll let me know that you want to join the circle. And then after that, head over to the comment section or the Circle Request channel on our Discord server. Let me know that you sent the request along with your in-game name, just so I can make sure to add you into the circle and not somebody else. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to actually post a what is it called, something on YouTube, like a little notification or whatever, Saying that the video is gonna be late because of some thing that happened during the the recording. I'll probably do that once it gets closer to the normal time I upload, as you'll probably notice by the time this part comes up that it's way off from when I normally upload. So with that being said, guys, I need to go take a look at this, and hopefully it wasn't that long from when I, hopefully it's not as bad as I think it is. But if you guys, like, once again, if you guys make it this far, I want to say thank you. If you guys can, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. As always, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.